Hey Geminis, and welcome to my channel. My name is Kim and this is Vivacious Fox. I am doing a general reading for the sign of Gemini, January 15th to 31st, 2020. Being that this is a new channel, I wanted to save some time since I tend to go off on tangents here and there. So the decks have been shuffled and already laid out for you. The cards are ready. So we'll just jump right in. Okay, so your overall themes and messages for this reading, you have the card Pleasure and Darkness. Okay, so both carry some really pretty heavy internal messages. It's the card Darkness. This generally represents this is signifying a time of introversion for yourself. It looks a little bit dark and ominous and scary, but really it's kind of an indicator that, you know, even though this might be a leaner time in the cycle, this is a time for planning and strategizing, and ultimately it's releasing fears that you might have had so that you can move forward, because there's a big dividend, there's a big payoff that's coming out at the end of this road here for you. So you know, people often, the whole idea of don't walk down a dark alleyway because you don't know what's down there, and yeah, because it's scary, but this is essentially spirit nudging you to take that journey inside yourself, to really get introspective and find out internally what's going on with you so that you can plan, strategize, and build up your strength and courage to move forward on this path. Because then you have next to it the card Pleasure, and pleasure is calling for, this card is calling for a need to focus on the simple things in life that tend to bring you joy. So perhaps you've been focusing a little bit too heavily on maybe you've been too focused on work or a certain project or a certain mending a certain relationship, and something is really wearing you down. So now the universe is calling you to take a step back, go in and kind of face the darkness, face your fears, so that you can step forward and you can really embrace the things, understand where your values lie. This is a very much a value-oriented card. So it's going back to the simple things in life that just bring you pleasure and joy. You know, if that's, maybe you like going for hikes or walks and you haven't really had a chance to go out to nature. This card is giving you a nudge to go out, and perhaps that means you actually need to do those things to set you on this new path, going into the darkness. So it is a very much a time of inner working. It's seeing kind of what the hidden fears and messages and values that you have on inside of you, and really kind of stepping forward into a new direction by bringing in the simple things in life that bring you pure joy. Sorry guys, one second, the dog's here and he's being a little bit distracting. Excuse me, can you please go lie down? Can we lie down? Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. All right, let's get right into your tarot spread here. Okay, so starting off, we have the 10 of Wands, we have the 6 of Swords, we have the King of Swords, and we have the 6 of Pentacles. So I'm getting the sense here, I don't feel that this is a love reading for most of you. Again, take the message as it resonates. This could very well have something to do with your love life or a relationship that you're in. But I have a feeling that you're more so focused right now on your pentacles. You're kind of focusing more on your stability, and you want to have build this solid foundation where you're in a position that you feel leveled out and you feel balanced and secure, so that you can actually give to somebody else. So maybe that means maybe you want to take the next step in your relationship, but you know that you need to be in a more secure position in order to do so. Or maybe you're single and you're just really wanting to take your career to the next level. So this is kind of an overall message for you to say that you've been carrying a lot of heavy burdens. Sorry guys, one more second. Okay, puppy, we're going to go into the other room. Come on. Good boy. Sorry about that, guys. I love him to death, but, you know. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Let's get back to this. Okay, so you've been carrying a lot of heavy burdens, and this is why the universe is calling you to say, take the time to step back and kind of look within yourself to see what are your values, what are the things that are going to bring you peace and joy in your life, because you've kind of been focusing and working really hard towards something, and you know, you've done the work now. You've done the work. Maybe it was a really stressful point in time for you. Maybe you were feeling very financially unstable. But this, the Six of Wands, there is a little bit of a heavier energy to it. It does indicate that, as you can see kind of here, the water is a little bit rougher on this side, but ultimately their backs are turned to that turbulent water, and they're moving towards calmer ground, calmer water. So this is an indicator that all that hard work that you've put into it is paying off, and you are moving in a new direction that's taking you away from these burdens and this need to just constantly work towards something. And by going into this moment of darkness and kind of getting a little bit introspective with yourself, it's going to bring you into the position where you are the king. Air signs are represented by swords, so this is you coming right out in your own reading. The King of Swords, he's very grounded, he's very rational and logical in his thought processes. It's a card where he's kind of had the ability to step back and really analyze a situation, and he's very sure of himself. He's very certain. The one side I will say about the King of Swords is that he does have a tendency to kind of focus more on things strictly from a mental point of view instead of from the heart. So he might be a little bit in his head about it. You know, if you've been hyper focused on something, it might just be taking you in circles in your head right now. But really, the card of darkness and pleasure is telling you to step back from that and maybe look at things from a different point of view. Look at things from your heart. You know, what is your heart and soul telling you? What are your values, your internal values and needs, and the simple things in life that are just going to bring you joy? Because by doing that, you're going to step into this position of the King of Swords, and ultimately it's going to lead you to the Six of Pentacles here. And the Six of Pentacles is a great card. It's a very stable card. It's a card of balance. It's a card of indicating that, you know, you have now put in the work and you've brought yourself to a position where you're in a great position to give back to others. So it's by going in and really, you know, overcoming those internal struggles and those internal fears and kind of breaking down the walls of, you know, not knowing what's ahead of you, or feeling like all that hard work and time that you've put into something and you're not seeing it pay off. Be patient, because it is coming, and you are moving away from those burdens, and all that hard work is finally moving you towards becoming this stable person that's really reflected on things. He's logical. He's going to be very clear and focused in his efforts. And it's ultimately going to bring you to this place of great stability and wealth. As you can see here, he's got the balance scales there, which is, you know, that's often indicative of Libra. But, you know, it's just meant to be that everything is working out. All the seeds that you've planted, they're being sown out. Now they're coming into fruition for you guys. So let's pull one last message from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck here for you guys. Let's get one final message here for the sign of Gemini for January 15th to 31st. Let's So what message do we have for the sign of Gemini for January 15th to 31st? Well, that's easy. Okay. You guys got a couple cards. All right. We'll take them all. All right. Okay, guys. So you have, I feel like this is in a different order here. You first have round and round. This is essentially you going on in your head. You're kind of circulating around. You're almost essentially flogging a dead horse. You know, you're putting in time and energy into something and somewhere that might not necessarily, you don't really need to do those things anymore. So it is a message to kind of take a step back and, you know, like maybe see things from a different perspective. Find out, break the cycle of it, you know, break this ongoing repetitive cycle and bring some pleasure into your life, bring some joy into your life, because that'll ultimately allow you to see that, you know, it's okay. I am going in the right direction and I am going to ultimately get my Six of Pentacles here, my balance and my stability here. You then have the card mending. So this going in, let's actually put these two cards together here. So round and mending. This is mending a bond within yourself, I'm feeling. This can be sometimes indicative of you know, maybe you have a relationship that needs to be worked on. Maybe you have a coworker that you haven't been seeing eye to eye with. It could mean a lot of things, so please take it however it resonates with you. But I'm getting the feeling in this reading in particular that this is a call to focus on mending the internal struggle within yourself. This is taking the time to step back and really paying attention to, you know, taking yourself out of this repetitive cycle and focusing on what's going to bring you happiness and what's going to bring you peace and joy in your own life. Because then you have your final card here, a change in the wind. This is gearing you into a new direction. So by taking this step back and breaking this repetitive cycle and going into the darkness, you're going to be able to mend the relationship with yourself. And by mending that relationship, it's going to help you to release the burdens. It's going to move you to calmer waters. You're going to be coming into the position of the King of Swords, and it's going to lead you towards your Pentacles. So it's a great card, great reading overall for you guys. A lot of important messages, a lot of self-reflection is needed. So just, you know, if it's even driving around blaring music, if it's going and getting a hot chocolate or something, maybe you're somewhere really cold, then just do those simple things, because those little things, it's essentially being grateful, just being grateful for the simple little things in life. It's going to allow you to see that everything's actually okay and you're on your way to this, guys. Okay, thanks a lot, Gemini. I hope this resonates. If it does, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.